Hi, I'm Lucy from Sew Essential and I'm here today with a roundup of patterns, fabrics, tips and tutorials you can use to sew along with the Great British Sewing Bee, Series 11, Episode 3. Let's get started. So I'm back from holiday and super excited to be getting swept up in Sewing Bee mania. Last night's episode didn't disappoint. First of all, the pattern challenge was the famous, iconic Diane Von Furstenberg or DVF wrap dress from the 1970s. And I'm very happy to say that I actually made that pattern last year and I'm wearing it today to show you. So this is a Vogue pattern. I'll give you more details in a minute, but I made it in a very retro inspired fabric. I made the version with the big collar and the big cuffs and I absolutely love it. I was really happy with this when I made it last year. There is a full review of this pattern and what I thought and my making of it on our channel. I'm going to pop a link to that below for you so you can check that out. But yeah, it was great to see the Sewing Bees sewing up their versions of the DVF pattern. Now, it was a re-release last year, an original vintage re-release last year because it was celebrating 50 years of the wrap dress. And in my mind, the wrap dress is just one of those wardrobe workhorses. It's just something that is easy to wear, comfortable, elegant, you know, all the things you want in that sort of, and you can make it a really dressy wrap dress or you can wear it day to day. You know, it's just such a great thing to have in your wardrobe and it's easy to sew as well, which we all love, I'm sure. So the pattern I'm wearing is the Vogue 2000, which is the DVF re-release, and I made the version, as I said, with the big collar and the big cuffs. There's also a version without the collar and just a simple neckline. It's got a lovely wide waist tie with angled points at the end, which I love as well, and I do remember seeing some of the Sewing Bees doing those last night. You've got the version that I made, which is just below the knee. It's got quite a sort of A-line fullish skirt, and then not A-line actually, I would say a gentle A-line, like a bit of a flare on the skirt, and then you've got the option for the maxi version as well. And I'm going to show you a good range of different fabrics that you could sew it up in, but I've got some other patterns to show you as well because last year we had a lot of DVF re-releases to celebrate that anniversary. So we also had Vogue 2040, which is another DVF original re-release. This one has got a simple neckline, no collar option, the option for a short sleeve or a sleeveless version. It's got waist darts on the bodice at the back, and I think the skirt is gathered, and it's got the waist tie as well. It looks like a narrower waist tie than the really wide one on the version that I made. So that's another option for you. Another option is Vogue 2060, which has got, again, that plain neckline, a long sleeve this time, and just below the knee finishing skirt or a full length maxi skirt. And then there's also an option included with this one as well for a sort of high slash neck dress as well. So quite a few different options in there. And then finally, there's another one that I chose to include. There are more on the website as well, but Vogue 2081. This one has, I think the neckline's finished with the binding, and then it's got the option for either a long or an elbow length sleeve, which sort of fills out at the bottom. It's kind of like a bishop sleeve with like a little narrow cuff or binding on the ends to hem it and secure it. And then the skirts are both sort of below the knee by the looks of it on that one. So you've got lots and lots of options there to whip yourself up a beautiful, elegant wardrobe workhorse wrap dress that, you know, I'm sure you will, if it's been popular since the 1970s, you know, I'm sure this is one of those items that, you know, is here to stay and just stands the test of time, whatever the fashions are at the time, which is nice when we're all trying to be more sustainable in our sewing as well. So I've got a range of fabrics to show you for that one. Sticking with the sort of retro feel, I thought this fabric was perfect. So these are all stretch and knit fabrics. I think Vogue 2000, it does say you can make it in a woven fabric. but I think all of the others are for stretch and knit fabrics, and you'll see all the details on our site, and you can always get in touch with us if you need any help. But this beautiful sort of retro vibes print I thought was absolutely gorgeous and would work brilliantly. It got me sort of feeling quite autumnal and getting quite excited about the new season as well, watching the show last night. And I think that one definitely sort of has autumnal vibes. Then I noticed that the example that Patrick and Esme were referring to had a beautiful sort of burgundy claret sort of coloured jersey, and we've got this beautiful soft knit ritual fabric which has got lovely drape and movement. It feels lovely against the skin, and it just is, it feels like quite a sort of high-end jersey. It's just got that sort of elevated feel to it, so I thought that was a nice option as well. Sticking on the sort of burgundy claret theme as well, we've got this lovely floral print jersey, which I thought would work brilliantly for a wrap dress as well. Again, that's a similar sort of base cloth to the last one I showed you. It's nice and soft, lots and lots of drape and movement, and would definitely look beautiful sewn up into a wrap dress. And then lots of the bees also chose paisley because that's quite sort of 70s feel. And we've got this beautiful black and cream paisley fabric, which I thought could work really well as well and has been really popular. And then if you just want something a bit different to that and you're not sort of up for the retro theme or the darker colours, I thought I'd just chuck in this beautiful classic blue and white floral print jersey as well. I can't remember if this is a cotton jersey or a viscose jersey, but all the patterns, all the fabrics are available to buy on our website. Just check out the links below. Go to our website and you can purchase them all there and see full details there. All our fabrics are sold by the metre as well, so the price you see is per metre, not per half metre. And then finally, I just thought if you want a nice dressy option for your wrap dress, because that is the wonderful thing, and for an evening dress as well, you know, wrap dresses for the day are great because they're comfortable, but the wonderful thing is if you choose a dressy fabric, you can wear a wrap dress in the evening but still be super, super comfortable. And one of the bees chose like a gold metallic-y fabric for theirs. So I thought, oh, what about making one in this lovely silver metallic stretch fabric that we've got? Thinking a long way ahead to party season. We're certainly not there yet, and I have been absolutely loving the glorious summer we've been having here in the UK. But you know, sometimes it is nice to get ahead of the game and be prepared. And then also we've got this fabulous stretch jersey with a digital print on it in these incredible colours. And again, I thought, wow, that would make a real knockout wrap dress as well. So that was my other option for the pattern challenge. Now, I just want to talk tips from the pattern challenge as well. They did ask the bees to sew clear elastic into the neckline to keep the neckline cinched in so that it laid nice and flat. And I've used that tip myself before, and I've recommended that tip myself before. What I will say is in the Vogue 2000 version that I'm wearing, I found that wasn't necessary at all. If you look at the neckline, it's actually quite high. It sits nice and close to the body. It's finished with quite a wide facing, which I think helps it all to sort of sit nicely and against the body. And it's obviously just drafted very, very well as well. But if you did want to go down the route of using the clear elastic and trying out that tip, even if you didn't do it on this dress, you know, it is useful wherever you might have a gaping neckline. We stock the clear elastic the sewing bees were using, and you can just buy that on our website. I'll pop links to that below. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was the cover stitch machine. So it's always interesting to see how many people have used cover stitch machines and overlockers, and it was a bit of a mixed bag with the sewing bees last night, but I just wanted to mention the fact that I did do, if it's got you thinking, oh, I've been thinking about a cover stitch machine, I'm not sure, or you've never heard of one before and you think, oh, I'd like to know a bit more about that, I did a really sort of great overview video of what is a cover stitch machine, do I really need one, and I sort of talk you through all the different things you can do with them, not just hemming, but you can also do decorative techniques and things like that, and I'll show you the full sort of array of different options, but in a really sort of succinct, useful, helpful, easy to understand video. So I'm going to pop a link to that below as well, so that you can check that out if it's got you sort of thinking along that path, because we do stock a wide range of cover stitch machines from all the big brands. We do the Janome ones as well as Brother, Pfaff Husqvarna and Babylark. So if you need to speak to somebody about that and it's got your mind whirring, or an overlocker, because they were using overlockers a lot as well in the episode, and that does make sewing knit and jersey fabrics so much easier. So if you want to have a chat to me about any of that, please do get in touch, but I'm going to pop a link below for you so that you can just have a look at that if it sparked your interest in that particular area. So on to the made to measure challenge, which was Versace inspired. So we had lots of images of things like that famous Liz Hurley dress with the safety pins, the J-Lo dress with the sort of very open low cut front, lots and lots of things to get excited about. And as always, great to see the sewing bees really let that creativity take hold. So we're going to go through person by person now what they made. So starting with Orla. Orla made a corset, a boned corset, and there was a lot of boning used in this challenge. So I just wanted to say we stock a wide range of boning on the website as well. All of the hardware as well, they use D-rings and like lots of bag hardware and stuff like that. It's all on our website, pretty much everything you can think of, tools and hobby wise. As you're watching the sewing bee and seeing different things being used that you might not have been used before, chances are you will find it on our website. We've got over 20,000 products on there, so do jump on and check those out. But yeah, Orla made a boned fitted corset with a V front, and she paired that with a skirt with two dramatic thigh slits, which I absolutely loved. So the two patterns I found that you could recreate that look were New Look 6242, which is a corset with several different options with that V point at the front, and I think that would work really well to create that part of the look. You've also got options for like lace up, which was featured again in the show. People did that sort of lace up look. You've got the option included in this one for that. You've also got a skirt and trousers included in this pattern, and they're wide leg trousers, so they are very contemporary, and I think would make a great pair of sort of evening trousers, so quite good value on that pattern as well. But that was the one I chose for the corset for Orla, and then paired with that New Look 6741, which is a high-waisted fitted skirt with a waistband, and then it's got two princess seams, and one of the princess seams opens to create a thigh slit. Probably not as dramatic as the ones Orla did, but if you wanted to go that dramatic you could always extend it. But there is a princess seam on the other side as well, which on the pattern design it doesn't suggest opening that up, but I thought, well, if you wanted to recreate that look, you could very easily open that up the same as the other one, and create that look that Orla did. And then it's got two really cute crop tops, so you can create like a cord set, one with an asymmetric one shoulder design and the other with two straps. So they were my two patterns that I chose for Orla's, and she just made it in black. I think there might have been some gold on there, but I thought there was a lot of Duchess satin used, and we've got Mystique Duchess satin. It's like a lighter weight Duchess satin. We've got the full weight Duchess satin on the site as well, but sometimes I think it's a little bit easier to work with the lighter weight stuff, and you've got the high shine side on one side, and then you've got the sort of more matte side on the other side, and it's really beautiful stuff, that Duchess satin. I've used it before and sewn with it, and it's great for all your evening wear needs, and it comes in a range of colours as well, so if you're not up for black, you've got lots of other different options as well. And then next up we had Yasmin, who this was the person that used a lot of like hardware, a lot of D-rings. She created like little leather straps and stuff. It was really cool. A lot of work went into that dress, and there's a couple of patterns I've picked out here. The first one I picked out was McCall's 8505 because it just had a similar vibe around the neckline. It's not a woven pattern, it's a knit pattern. Yasmin's was made in Duchess satin, it was a woven pattern, but I've always loved this McCall's pattern. It's got sort of 2 cup pieces, and then you thread a spaghetti strap through that to create ruching at the centre, almost like a bikini top, and then it's got a cutout underneath that, a lovely square neckline, long sleeves, and then a nice sort of relatively flared maxi length skirt. It's just gorgeous. I would love to make this dress. I just need to get around to making all of these patterns, but there's also a view that's got like a halter neck and no sleeves, and then there's also a short sleeve view as well, and I thought that was very on the theme of what Yasmin created and would look fabulous in our John Caldor Ritual fabric, which I showed you earlier in the burgundy claret colourway. We've got loads of colours in this one, but this soft knit, it's that silky soft knit feel, lovely drape and movement, just a sort of elevated, more dressy looking jersey, I suppose, and that would be fabulous for that McCall's pattern. Next up we had Kaz, and Kaz definitely sort of broke the mould a bit. She went for, she did like a pinafore top with lots of different sort of strapping going on, and then a skirt with lots of sort of almost like a handkerchief hem and like gathered and ruched a bit. Quite dramatic sort of silhouette, but she did it in blue gingham, so they sort of joked and said, you know, Dorothy Wizard of Oz vibes meets Versace. It was quite an out there choice, I suppose, compared to what the other contestants were making, but it's always great to see people having that confidence just to do what they feel is right. I love seeing that, and I found a pattern that is just like the top part that Kaz created of that dress, and it's Vogue 1922, a really pretty unusual pattern. I've forgotten about this one, but it's got straps and it's got a sort of cutout at the front, but then it's got a crossover halter neck design, a strap going across from the shoulder straps at the top, and a bow, and then that's echoed on the back as well. So a really incredibly unusual design, a lot to love about that one, and that would work in the satin back crepe that I've just showed you, or just our standard crepe as well. If you don't want to make, if you're not up for satin, we've got standard crepe on the website that you could sew that up in as well, and I thought you could hack that and pair it with Vogue 1872. There was a lot of handkerchief hems going on, there was loads and loads of high-low hems, handkerchief hems. This is a handkerchief hem skirt. It is a wrap skirt, but you would be able to hack it to join it to a top and then maybe add a zip in the back or something. You know, you are going to have to hack. But I also thought just in its own right, people might like this skirt as well. My fabrics have just fallen over, so I'm going to pick up the other one I was going to show you, because I did quite like that skirt in the animal print on the pattern packet. And we've got this lovely animal print fabric, this grey. I can't remember, I think this is a viscose, but all the details for the fabrics are on our website. You can purchase all the fabrics, all the patterns, find all my tutorials, all the links are below for you. But yeah, I thought that skirt would look lovely in that animal print, and I felt like that was kind of keeping in with the vibe of the sort of Versace theme last night as well. And then on to Glendora. So Glendora made a really lovely sort of high neck classic cutaway, very fitted evening dress, and I think she probably used Simplicity 8330, which is actually a pattern I've sewn before and I loved it. I absolutely loved this pattern. I made the mini version, it's just above the knee, it's not super mini, but there are maxi length versions as well. There's a version with a fishtail as well, but I think Glendora made the full length maxi version, and then it has got the option for a cutout sort of sexy cutout back as well, or you can sew one with the back piece on it, which I think I did that. I didn't do the cutout at the time. It was way back when I first started sewing. I probably wasn't confident enough to tackle that open back at the time. It's got princess seams to create a lovely fitted shape, and I actually made it in a scuba fabric at the time. And that worked really well because it was really stable, and then it was really comfortable to wear as well. But I took inspiration from Glendora, and I thought I'd show you our lighter weight Duchess satin, the Mystique in the beautiful claret burgundy colourway that she used as well. And then if you wanted to, I loved the idea of adding that sort of gold belt around the waist that she did as well. That was really lovely. And then next up we have Stuart. So Stuart made, it was like a sort of spaghetti strap cami dress with a low back and ties, but the sort of real focus and emphasis of the dress was that he had a panel sort of sweeping down the front of it, and then he created parts of the dress in black satin and then did that sort of panel as a sheer lace panel in gold. And I took my inspiration for my pattern from there. There is a simplicity pattern that's sort of more in keeping with the shape of the dress, but just for that unusual sort of panelling, there is a lovely pattern, Simplicity 9886, which I really like. It's got options for a slash neck or a little turtleneck. It's sleeveless, or there is an option for a short sleeve. But it's got a lovely panel sort of colour blocking effect down the front of it, which I really, really love and think is really fun and unusual. And again, I thought you could do that in any of the satin fabrics I showed you. I think this is, I can't remember what other fabrics. Oh yeah, it's all sorts of things, cotton blends, rayon, silky type, challis, crepe, that sort of thing. Again, we've got crepe in a wide range of colours, but you can really have some fun with colour blocking there and take inspiration from that make. And then next up we had Novella, who did something really quite different, and the pattern I chose for, she made like a asymmetric one shoulder top, which I always really like. I just think that's such a simple, elegant look. And then she paired it with a skirt, which was like a pencil skirt, and she made dramatic sort of large pockets, again using the boning to create that volume and that structure, and add these pockets. And yeah, that was the look she went for. So the top, I went for the Halley top by Fibre Mood. We've recently started stocking their patterns. They're PDFs. You can purchase a printed version of this pattern off us if you don't want to print at home and stick the pieces together. We'll print it on AO paper for you and post it out. It's lovely high quality paper. So you've got that option there. The links are below, but you might want to just download it and print it at home as well, because actually there's not going to be many pieces to this pattern because it's just a small top. But that was the top that I chose for Novello. And then skirt wise, obviously there wasn't really anything sort of similar to what she created because she sort of engineered that herself, but I did find the Sew House 7 Alberta Street pencil skirt, and I thought, oh, this is an interesting one that quite a lot of people might like anyway, even if you're not going along that sewing bee theme. It's a pencil skirt with a relatively wide waistband, but it's all about the big patch pockets that sit on the side of the skirt, and they're even angled and sort of almost shaped very similar to the ones that Novello created. But then what you could do if you wanted to recreate her look, I thought you could switch the pockets to the other side and, you know, do all of that. But realistically, I'm thinking people probably aren't going to be going down that road. Probably people are going to be looking at more wearable things. But I just thought this was a nice twist on the classic pencil skirt anyway, with those lovely big pockets on. And it would look great just sewn up in one of our denims. We've got lots of denims on the website, so do check those out. But I also wanted to show you this cotton fabric because this really reminded me of the yellow and blue fabric that Novella used. It's kind of quite a sort of Versace themed print, I would say. It's almost got, it almost looks like chains swirling around on it, and yeah, just a bit abstract and a bit different. So I wanted to show you that one. And then on to Dan. And Dan made, he took inspiration from that amazing dress that JLo wore, which was a sort of halter neck, deep cut out at the front, very, very booby, and then fitted at the waist with a long sort of flowing dramatic skirt. And his model wore like little hot pants under it. I can't remember what JLo did, but there isn't, I'm thinking, you know, not that many people are going to want to sort of go for that look. It's quite sort of out there, and I thought I'll go for something a bit more wearable but along a similar theme, and that was a very easy Vogue pattern, 9343, and I think there are so many of these sorts of patterns in the Vogue archives on our website. We've got the full Vogue range on our site, and if you're looking for special occasion or making something a bit dressy, it's a great place to start. But this beautiful Vogue dress has just got a very simple halter neck, but it is a very plunging neckline. It plunges right down to the waistline, and then it's got a nice sort of flared skirt. Very simple. I think it would be a nice easy sew, and I thought you could make that up in this beautiful, we didn't know whether it was lips or leaves, but we've got this lovely fabric with this really unusual print on it, and I thought that would work really well for that dress, and it kind of felt along that Versace theme again, with that print. Or if you wanted to stay on the green theme, which is the colour that JLo's dress was, we've got this lovely viscose fabric in green, which has been really, really popular this year. And then we've also got, if you wanted a print, we've got this lovely, I think this is a viscose as well. And yeah, it's like a sort of paisley-ish print, but it's kind of a bit sort of reminding me a bit of that sort of jungly theme of the JLo dress as well. So yeah, it was really interesting to see what everyone was sewing up. And we've talked about the overlockers and cover stitch machines, but you might also recognise one of the machines I've got behind me as well. I've put that there today because if you are looking for a new machine or you're feeling inspired by the sewing bee and you just want a little bit of help navigating the huge choice on the market today, do get in touch with me, do check out our channel. There's loads of sewing machine reviews there for you, and I can very, very quickly save you hours and hours of research and just narrow down your options and look at your budget and what your requirements are and help you there. So I just wanted to mention that before we go on to our last couple of people who were, just bear with me, I have to use my notes because I just cannot remember all those names. But we've got, so we've done Dan. Jess then made a dress with like it was a strappy dress with a cowl neck, and then she did zigzaggy sort of crisscrossy ribbons across the bodice, which you could use that first corset pattern that I showed you that I used for Orla. And then again, we had another handkerchief hem on this dress. And the pattern I chose for this one, like I say, you could use that corset pattern that I used for Orla if you wanted to do like the zigzaggy ribbons and that sort of thing. But I took inspiration from that handkerchief hem and looked for something lovely and wearable. And again, Vogue Archives just came up trumps again and again in this episode. Vogue 1878, a beautiful chic dress with a sort of very, it's not an overly exaggerated handkerchief hem. It's quite a sort of subtle handkerchief hem in that there's only a couple of points. There's not lots and lots of points on that hem. And then it's got a lovely wide neckband that creates almost like a halter neck, but it's lower than a halter neck. And it's got princess seams, a centre front and a centre back seam. And it's just pure elegance, as you would expect from Vogue. Jess made it in like a lovely sort of turquoisey blue. We haven't got anything in that sort of colourway, but we have got our prestige crepe in this beautiful royal blue, which I thought was really pretty as well. So I think it's called Saxe blue actually, but it's kind of like a royal. That was my choice for Jess. Gaynor made one of my favourite patterns that I keep saying I'm going to make, haven't got around to making. Please somebody make me make this dress, or somebody make it, because I really need to. I'm actually going away with the girls in October, and I'm thinking I might make this for that, but I don't know whether we're going to be getting this dressed up. But Gaynor made a beautiful asymmetric one shoulder design with a cutout at the waist and one sleeve, and I'm sure it was Simplicity 9885. You can make lots of different versions. You can make an asymmetric hem version, a maxi version, a shorter version, lots and lots of options there. She did a fantastic job. The fit was great. It looked absolutely lovely. She made it in a beautiful sort of multicoloured jersey. We didn't have anything like that, but I have shamelessly copied the pattern packet and gone for our ritual again, which is that lovely soft knit jersey, beautiful in this gorgeous vibrant red, and I thought that would look wonderful. And then finally onto Kit, and Kit made a skirt which had a high-low hem again. And then it was lined with gold. So we've got some, if anybody does want to go down that road and was kind of really enjoying the gold theme, we've got this satin back crepe in like a canary yellow colour. So I thought I'd include that. You could line it with that because that's lighter weight than the lightweight Duchess satin that I've shown you. So you could make them the outside of the skirt in the black, and you could line it with that lighter weight satin back crepe. But the pattern I chose for that was Vogue 1987. Again, very, very wearable because actually it's two patterns in one, so good value again. One of the patterns is some lovely wide culottes, which are very, very on trend at the moment. And again, great for autumn, winter if you're starting to plan ahead for your new season wardrobe. But then it also had the skirt that was very similar to Kit's, that's sort of like a flared skirt with that dropped high-low hem. So that was my choice for that. And then it was paired with just a very simple sort of shell top that was a button down at the back, which was made in lace. And it just led me to the Tessuti Fabrics Tavi top, which I really love. It's a really lovely pattern, a very simple shell top, sleeveless, and it's got that button down design at the back. And I just thought that was a lovely pattern to share anyway. I can't remember for the life of me which fabric I thought I would make that up in, but there are lots and lots of fabrics on our site. You can find all the patterns, all the fabrics on our site. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter as well, because we'll share lots of sewing bee inspiration there for you too. But I hope you like what you see today. If you do, please like and subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.